Hey guys, welcome back to Lucas Narration channel. I'm Lucas and today I'm sharing with you an interesting story from the Relationship Advice subreddit. It's a story with 3 updates, but it does have quite a few trigger warnings on there. It contains emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. So if you feel these themes might be too much for you, consider skipping this one. But if you feel comfortable with them, hit the like, subscribe, and let's get started. So, our today's story comes from a Reddit user who goes by the name Ra Picky Eater. She asks, "My husband cannot accept that I don't like mustard. Things came to a head yesterday. We've been married 2 years, dating 5. We are both 34, I'm a woman, he's a man, if it matters. I'm not a picky eater. In fact, I'm quite adventurous and every time I've traveled I've always made it a point to try dishes with unusual or uncommon ingredients to say I've tried them. There are very few foods I won't eat. One of them is mustard, the condiment. I don't like it. I just don't. The taste is very strong and overpowering and it's an unpleasant taste. I've tried yellow, stone ground, honey, artisan, brown, spicy, you name it. I have tried them all. And I just don't like them. My husband for some reason never understood this. He loves mustard, especially honey mustard. He puts it on all his sandwiches, dips his fries in it. And every time he tries to force me to try it, he'll insist I'll like it this time. I'm a grown-ass woman. I know what I don't like. And I don't like mustard. So I'll say no and it'll devolve into a mini argument where he'll call me picky. Well, last night we were on the road home from a weekend trip we took together and he stopped at a gas station to get us a quick bite. He got a hot dog slathered in mustard. I got one but decided to keep it plain. I don't really love hot dogs to begin with, but I will eat them. While we waited in line, he asked what I got on mine. I told him nothing. He actually got furious and grabbed it from me. He marched over to the condiment station and began putting mustard on my hot dog, telling me to grow up and stop being picky. I just walked out and sat in the car. I didn't even want the damn hot dog anymore. My appetite was gone. He came back and began screaming at me for embarrassing him even further. The word divorce was said for the first time ever. I secretly recorded his screaming because I was genuinely afraid I would die. He was driving erratically, swerving and speeding. I'm in a hotel tonight. He ignored me all day at work and then the calls started around when he realized I wasn't coming home. Non-stop voicemails and texts. He sent me a screenshot of a Google search for local divorce lawyers. I haven't eaten all day and I've been sobbing in this damn hotel room. I don't want to get divorced and I wish I had just ate the effing mustard. Someone, anyone, please give me an explanation. Am I in danger? Why would he react this way to a preference of mine? I'm completely broken right now. Damn, that's messed up. Your husband flipping out over mustard is really the red flag. It's not about the condiment, it's about control. Getting furious, forcing mustard on your hot dog, and threatening divorce? Why? You're not in the wrong here, he's way overreacting. Record his erratic behavior because it would be helpful in the future or you should consider leaving him. What about the online community? What do they say in the comments? Let's check it out. We're starting in the comments with one Reddit user says, "I'm not a picky eater. Refusing to eat mustard to the point where it ruins your marriage does put you into picky eater territory. That being said, if this post is real, you and your husband are both acting like children. If your marriage can't survive mustard, you shouldn't be married." In response to this most downvoted comment, Opie replies, "Are you serious? I don't like mustard and I'm not going to eat it. It's not depriving me of any nutrition. I eat balance beyond that." Another Reddit user says, "I see a lot of top comments that are probably good input for moving forward, but it doesn't really objectively state the truth. It seems to be truly about the mustard in my opinion. He just reacted poorly. Of course for you it is about more than just mustard, but my point is that for him it is just about it. You should be reacting to how he handled it poorly, but in my opinion the objective truth is that he cannot grasp why you don't like mustard on a hot dog, which to him tastes amazing. As someone else stated, theirs was about honey and tea, it's not just about the control. It's more about this is my favorite thing, it tastes delicious. How can you not love this thing? Do you not taste what I taste? Please, I just want you to learn to love what I love. How can you not taste that and think it's good? Now what is important is how someone reacts. He reacted very poorly and basically treated you like shit because he now wants to control you. If he stopped himself from reacting so crazily, then it wouldn't be an issue obviously, but I really think deep down to him, it is just about the mustard and him not understanding how others have different taste buds and literally taste different things. This caused him to get so frustrated with you that the only thing he can think of is that you say you hate mustard out of spite for some reason. Or you're not giving it a fair chance. A great example of this is cilantro. I love cilantro. but my fiancé literally tastes soap if something has cilantro on it. When I first heard this, I thought she was exaggerating or lying just to counterbalance how much I loved it, so it kind of frustrated me to think she would do that, but upon keeping my mind open and researching, apparently this is a super common thing. And this experience allowed me to see firsthand the phenomenon that is where it's not just all about food preference. Some people literally taste different things from the same foods. Also, my girlfriend doesn't really care for mustard either. Like, she'll eat it rarely, but she doesn't like it on her brats or hot dogs because to her the flavor doesn't mesh well. And there is nothing wrong with that. I will admit it is surreal to figure it out, but it's just a fact of life. It's more than just preferences, it's actual signals to the brain and taste buds from past gene pools. I am Native American and some foods I just love, while my fiancé is from Great Britain genetically, so she has a completely different palate than me, just flat out scientifically. Sorry, I just wanted to go into why he was probably so damn passionate about his precious mustard, as it's one of my favorite things to put on some stuff. But no, he should not be pissed off that much that you don't like mustard. If anything, he should have done what I did and asked you questions about what you taste exactly when trying it. For that would have helped him to realize he had his head way up his own ass about it. But too late now. Thanks for coming to my hot take TED Talk. I am not here for upvotes, but to show people they have skipped the entire step about what this mustard means to this guy. It's less about food and more about experience and misunderstanding. Easy objective truth getting downvotes. Thank you. I'll be here pissing people off for eternity. But this user has a different idea, saying, this is obviously not about the mustard. I can't begin to guess what went through your husband's head that resulted in this behavior, but the behavior is here and needs to be addressed. He ignored your wishes, screamed at you in public, drove recklessly in anger, gave you the cold shoulder, followed by non-stop harassing you, threatened you with divorce in the most juvenile way possible. Even if you get to the bottom of whatever set off this parade of horribles, what's done cannot be undone. You are in danger. He's not the person you thought he was. Get out now. Next commenter adds, my father used to frighten us by driving recklessly when he was angry. It is a cardinal sign of abuse. Think to yourself, what kind of person does that, putting someone they love in mortal danger? Not to mention other innocent motorists on the road. My father would also do this over seemingly trivial things like, I don't know, mustard. It only gets worse from here. Believe me. This user says in quotes, I was genuinely afraid I would die. And then says, keep that in your mind, his behavior is unstable. Why don't you want to get a divorce? Why don't you want to protect yourself from someone who screamed at you, made you afraid of him to the point of leaving to a hotel? When people show you who they are, believe them. It doesn't matter why he did it or what it was about, but about someone making threats against you, bullying you, nonstop. Even if he is ill mentally or physically, it does not give him the right to stay or do these things. He wants power over everything you do. Your right to be acknowledged and respected is non-existent in this relationship. If you can get some support, I would find that person and get away from this angry man. Another user says to the Opie in this one, things would not be better if you gave in and started using mustard. Your husband would find something else to nitpick and bully you about because he's a control freak. What do you think about this story? Don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. After reading all the comments of people online, one day later, Opie did give us an update. I can't respond since my post got deleted, sorry. Some answers I guess to questions I saw. Regarding when I said no to sex. He respected if I said no to having sex, but he would ask for blowjobs over and over. I used to give in at first until I started dreading doing it. He tried buying all this stuff to make me like it, to make it easier or whatever. I used to like blowjobs. I don't like giving them to him, but he'll still ask over and over. I started responding with, I said no. Are you going to force me to do it? And he'd get squeamish and offended that I'd implied he would rape or assault me. If I have a support system, no. I've always been a very small circle kind of person, and I lost touch with casual college friends. My friends are his. It makes me feel like a loser, but I don't really have friends of my own. My parents are dead. My dad died when I was a teen, and my mom passed recently of heart failure. I have no siblings. I'm financially capable of living on my own, and I could pay for a divorce. I just really didn't want things to be this way. The mustard thing was always just an annoyance to me. I didn't consider it a deal breaker, but obviously it is for him. We have no kids and no equity. Our finances are separate save for one joint account we equally contribute to for bills. We were looking at buying a house. I'm safe. I'm at work and I'm staying in the hotel until further notice. He has continued to text. One message said that he loves me and doesn't want to lose me, but I've forced his hand by refusing to communicate or come home. I haven't answered. I don't know what to say. I forced myself to eat my favorite takeout late last night, but it tasted like cardboard. I stayed up late compiling a list of every time he has shown worrying behavior. I guess the mustard is the tip of the iceberg. The community quickly leave comments below the post. So a comment which Opie relied to says, I think you'll find it's easier to make friends of your own now that you're away from him and his influence. Please keep safe. As has been pointed out, the most dangerous time is when you're leaving a relationship. Can you get a coworker to escort you to your transportation? Opie replies, Yes, I asked a male coworker to walk me to my car this evening. Opie shares in the comments. An addendum, I suppose. I do very much love him and he has been my best friend for years now. I really do, I guess did plan to spend my life with him. I'm not afraid of being alone, but I don't want to be lonely. I wish my mom was here. One user replies, Does your job offer coverage for grief counseling or therapy? You're going through a lot and it sounds like it could help. Opie responds, I have insurance that will cover both. This commenter says, Sweet friend, I understand that sticking around for this life you've built and are used to feels worth withstanding the odd abuse he keeps leveling at you over something as simple as mustard. But we both know that it's about more than mustard. He's hit his last straw over your latest refusal of changing yourself to meet his wishes, as is tired of trying to force you to be a more reasonable, less individual person. Sometimes people think that the least you can do is meet them halfway, but halfway is actually just relenting to squash your own wishes for theirs. As shitty as it may be, he is not open to realizing this, and it's going to make your life much harder to continue on with him until he gets his shit together. It sounds like there are multiple instances where he feels like his needs are worth more than yours, and it's escalated to scary anger. You need to take some serious time away from him until he decides you're worth more than mustard, or maybe what you thought used to be there between you has changed and revealed itself, and you need to accept that and get out of there. Another user says, Please don't let yourself be abused or controlled because you're afraid of being lonely. I know that feeling. I'm 33, I'm on my own, and I'm going to be moving across the country mid-next year. It's scary, but what's scarier was letting myself become a shell of what I once was, acquiescing to not rock the boat until I felt I didn't have a voice. You can do this. Edit. Also, mustard is gross. And screw him. On the same day, Opie gave us another update. Thank you all for being so kind. A quick ramble before bed. Sincerely, thank you all for your kind words as well as sending me links to resources. He has reverted back and has told me that he never wants to see me again, so I suppose that gives me time to read that book that someone on Residence Assistant suggested to me. I forget the name. I will admit, while I was at work and thinking of the lonely room waiting for me after 5, I considered just going home. But I knew what awaited me. I'm too drained to muster up the kind of apology he would be expecting in order for things to go back to normal. I honestly fear that our normal is detrimental to me. I also don't want to apologize. I don't think I did anything wrong, and you all helped validate that. I always felt like I was the one disturbing the peace. He gets so upset over things that were little to no effort for me to just do or go along with because I loved him. And somewhere along the way I think I lost myself. I never liked mustard. I never liked golf or camping or red wine. But he loves all of these and wanted me to love them too. He said he was introducing me to his hobbies so we would have shared interests as a couple. But I have realized that out of all the things I used to like, he has either refused to try or ignored my interest. Our shared interests are just his. God, how do I feel like my own person again? My world broke not 2 days ago, and now I'm drunk at a hotel bar switching between Reddit and researching divorce lawyers. I still don't want a divorce. It's so permanent. I never pictured myself a divorcee. I used to think that every choice I made deliberately. It used to be a point of pride for me. But he's making this choice for me. And it hurts. This commenter shares their thoughts in the comments. I think you need to switch the paradigm. You're making this choice because your ex-husband refuses to be a reasonable, sane, level-headed human, and you choose not to be married to someone that has no respect for you and expects absolute obedience instead of a partnership. You can't control or change him, you can only control your reactions and how you proceed. He clearly hasn't realized this. You are going to be shocked how quickly you find yourself. It'll come in small moments when you realized you stopped doing or enjoying things because of him. Or things you did because he wanted to that you no longer have to. Maybe start there. Make a list of all the things you haven't done, eaten, seen, drank, or been in a while and do those things. You are going to be okay. You've already taken the first step and realized going home and faking sorry isn't worth it. Us Reddit strangers believe in you. 5 days later, Opie came in to update the post and said, I'm leaving him. First of all, I took this week off at the encouragement of my employer. I plan to spend it finding a therapist that specializes in domestic abuse and sexual assault, which I've come to realize I am a victim of. I feel completely numb. I'm also looking into a divorce lawyer. Secondly, he found the hotel where I was staying. I guess he followed me from work. He was waiting in the lobby. God, my heart skipped a beat and I realized that I did not miss him at all. I was afraid of making a scene. I need to unlearn that, so I sat with him in the lounge area and talked. I'll summarize it. I pointed out the security camera and said if he tried to hurt me, there'd be footage and I would press charges without a second thought. He was completely shocked and said he'd never hurt me. I reminded him how I feared for my life in the car. He ignored me. He asked why I wasn't coming home. I was completely blank-faced when I told him, because you're divorcing me. He said he didn't mean it and was just upset. I said, when normal people are upset, they express it in a healthy way. You threatened the end of our marriage. I'm taking you seriously. He got pissed and asked if I was saying he wasn't normal. Honestly, I just wanted the conversation to be done, so I told him if that's really all he heard, then there was no point in talking anymore. I told him I was looking for a lawyer and he should probably do the same if he hasn't found one. He lashed out and said, all this over one mistake? And I just stared at him. As I made to stand up, he grabbed my wrist hard and I pointed at the camera again. This just made him angrier. He never could handle slights to his ego. One mistake. It wasn't one mistake. It was a pattern of abuse over years. It was threatening me, intimidating me. I told him if he tried to contact me again beyond sending me his lawyer's details, I'd be calling the police. He let me go. I want to say I was badass and celebrated in my room. I collapsed onto my bed and began sobbing. I was just so sick and angry and sad. He truly doesn't care about me. I've been crying on and off while calling local therapists. God, why is it so hard to find one? The amount of therapists that advertise but turn out to not be accepting new patients is unacceptable. I've looked into victims of domestic violence or domestic abuse support groups as well. In the span of less than a month, my life is completely changed. And he isn't remorseful at all. He just thinks it's all my fault. Hey, I just want to say how damn proud I am of you for standing up for yourself and not backing down. Going through this is like a wild emotional ride, but trust me, you're gonna make it to the end and you'll be so damn healed from all this trauma. We're all here for you. Cry, scream, swear, whatever you need to let it all out. What do you guys make of this one? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment below. And I just want to say thank you for spending time with me. If you enjoyed our today's Reddit story, why not consider hitting the button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell? It will alert you when I come back with another story. And now, see you next time.